Hey everyone, Jamie Pate here, and welcome to this video. As always, today we are going to jump into the very last pages of December album 2023. Okay, I have sitting here on my workspace in my hot little hand a completed album. I will be doing a full walkthrough, so be sure to watch for that. Last video in this December album 2023 series, we completed up to page or story 18. And so you saw how this all came together here. I have my journaling now inside there. Happy how this turned out, especially with what I decided to go back behind it. It just sits really nice in the book. I love when that happens. Sometimes that's hard to plan, right? So I'm happy that that worked out like it did. So for story 19, I have a full page photo. Family was gathering, and so my stories are sort of kind of turning towards that. I didn't quite mean to leave the cutout here for this bingo card because it actually, this journaling actually belongs to this page, but you know what? As you are going to continue to see me do, I'm embracing it, right? It's not about perfection. It's about getting these pages and these stories in our book. This story here, 20, is also very low key in that I added one of my Heidi Swapp tags that I recently made over the season to this page. I added a score here so it would flip up, and then I just kind of created my own prompt for this day, which had to do with creativity more than anything, hence the stamped and layered tag. And so that is story 20. Then we flip it over, and happily, this is another story that I try to make sure finds place in each of these December albums, and that is winter. I don't have a photo here for winter. We did get snow, but not until the next week. So I just decided, because of how I am personally embracing winter this year, I'm not a great winter person. I know, Jamie, why do you live in Colorado? Because of family. That's why I live in Colorado, not because of the weather. And fortunately here, we have a lot of sunshine, even though we do get snow. So, you know, you embrace the thing. So this is there's sort of a liturgy in here about winter that I just really thought was helpful and encouraging, and really embraced what I was feeling right now about these next 3 months and how I'm going to mentally go about them. So I wanted to give winter its own story. Then we have a little short story 22. I cropped this photo rather to be 3 by 7, might be 3.5 actually by 7. Had quite a story to share here. And so that is as simple as this story got. It's just encompassed everything I wanted that particular story to be. And then I got a little more detailed here and return to these 2x2 pages. I call these 2x2 pages because these pockets, there's 12 of them, but they're each 2x2. So I told the story of literally day 23 because of so much that was happening in my home on this day. So much activity, so much noise, so much family. And so I love how this played out on each of these pockets. It's not all of the story, but it's a lot of the story. Same with 24. I just did the backside with the story of 24, and I may actually add this into my conversation when I do the process video next, but a lot of these stories that I really want to focus on a particular story when there's lots going on here, right? When I want to focus on a particular story, that's actually going to find its way in the storytellers that Heidi Swapp did for December. And so I just decided, as I was doing this, instead of making myself crazy and trying to capture all the things, it's just no way, right? I did want to have lots of photos. Love having this pocket page just for that. And so then to be able to tell more story in another place, I'm totally looking forward to doing that. So we're going to segue now into the big 2-5, story 25, which is actually the Merry Christmas story, right? And I have a process video and some more conversation about that. So, okay, I realized as I already got started on this page that I wanted to share the process with you guys. I think this last technique I'm adding to the album is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I kept going back and forth about having, for my last page, which is going to be a single photo, for a couple of reasons, and I'll explain that as we go. But my last page, my last story, is going to be the huge family photo on Christmas Day. We always take a formal-ish photo on Christmas Day, and I should probably even make an album of all those different years, because I think that would kind of throw me, being in this chapter of life that I find myself. So what I did here, I grabbed a 4x6 top and bottom page protector, pocket page, because I wanted a little bit of a divide between all the busyness that took place on the 24th to the next photo. So I just want to have a little bit of play. So what I decided to do is also trimmed a 4x6 piece of vellum. Now this is, I'm going to kind of talk about this vellum for a minute. This is ScrapbookCom's vellum. And I really, really do like to work with it. It's a little heavy. It's still precarious if you are to score it. Sometimes it will crack. All vellums do that. You just got to be a little extra careful. But it has great weight to it, and it definitely holds rub-ons really well. So I grabbed the Christmas Spectacular. These words, there's a lot of words on here. Can I tell you what I wish? I wish there was a big 25. That's what I really wanted. I don't have a big 25 to put on here. So I wish this was 25. Although, now that I say that, okay, I'm going to go cut out the 25 that I do have. I think I'm going to add it up here. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I just wanted to have the greeting of Merry Christmas. And so I used that rub-on the vellum, and it's going to live in this pocket down here. I might even actually add a little bit of ribbon here just as an accent. So then up here in the top pocket, I also went ahead and did vellum because I wanted to look even. I thought it'd be weird if I went and left this open, even though I was going to make it another shaker. I know, shakers are a little bit of a theme. Is this my third shaker in this album, if anyone's counting at home? So yeah, back to the... Here, what's this called? This is Picket Fence Christmas Flurries. And this time, we're going to load it up. We're going to give it quite a bit. And I think I'm going to cut out the bold numbers for 25 to go on top. I think that looks like a lot of fun. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. I think it kind of adds to even the page that's facing it here. That is my 24 2x2 page with all the photos and all the activity. I think it just sort of adds to the celebratory part of this part of the what am I say, part of the holiday, because we got really super busy and lots going on. And then I was trying to figure out if I want to top it with the washi tape or if I just want to go in and sew. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and go in and sew it. So I found a little scrap. I mean, literally, look at this scrap. Isn't that wonderful? Tell me you have scraps just like this in your space as well. So since I have very little here, I'm going to be really careful about cutting this and going to use some of the mint tape to keep it in place. Because it has text in it, I want to make sure that it stays straight on the text. And then we will go in here like this and trim that out. I have milked this piece of this pattern paper quite a bit. I really loved the text that's all over this. And it's funny, I'm thinking as I'm getting this prepped that my first page, the starting with family, is also this pattern paper. Okay, so I'm going to get these cut. I'm going to sew my shaker in place and we'll be back. Okay, so I added my 25, which is now falling upside down, so we'll see how that goes. I added a Dear Santa and then a little ho 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 that I thought would be fun to add to this page. So there's my little shaker, my Merry Christmas, and I'm going to add my last page. Okay, I have my photo over here, and on a piece of white cardstock, I'm going to trim up a piece of paper about 1 inch in width, and then just come right down in the middle with a score line to create a flap on my page, because I want it to be able to lift up, and that will be home to the story. The thing with story 25 And if you are a documenter of the December, then it becomes basically like the story of 25, right? It's the Christmas story is what... Whoops, let's break that. There we go. There's only one way that the runner should actually go. I was trying to make it go the other way. I don't recommend that. So that just makes 25 kind of easy, right? And I tend to take a lot of photos. And I was trying to be really intentional this time around with taking photos on Christmas Day for many reasons. I don't have everybody every year. And, you know, who knows what it's going to look like in 2 years from now. I've learned through the years, the people who might be around 1 year doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be around the next year. I've just experienced that a lot of times now. I'm sure you have too. So we take the pictures right and we remember the moments. While I do have a lot of photos on the day, they don't end up in my December album. And I think kind of for obvious reasons. This is pretty full. I can close it, but it's not its former close, right? It's a little wide. I might have to put something around it so I can put it on my shelf. That's one reason. Another reason too is because Heidi Swapp came out with Storytellers Unedited for Christmas. And last year when I did that class and that creative endeavor, I found that it fit a whole other entire story completely, and I was really happy with that. I'm like, this is exactly what that album's for. So there's 2 stories I'm going to make sure I put into that holder of memories, and that will be our cookie decorating day, because that was just so much fun, and there are quite a few photos from that. And I'm going to put in Christmas Day in there as well. And that way I just feel like I have more freedom with the photos that I want to add. I'm not quite as restricted to, at this point in the December telling, I'm not quite as restricted to how many photos I can add. So I thought it'd be fun to add the outline of the 25 that I added inside the shaker. I'm trying to decide how exactly this is going to work. Do I have it attached to my little banner here? Or do I have it pop underneath? I'm going to go ahead and staple this together, because I do know I want this. And I want to just go ahead and keep it kind of flat, so that's why I'm opting. Let's just staple it. It works. I love how all my layers can be stapled together and still have this great layered effect. And so that's going to go there like that. So maybe this just fits in here like this. And it doesn't interfere at all with the photo here. So I'm going to get this on here. I'm going to use another side of double-sided adhesive because of the lifting of it. I just want to make sure it's secure. That's the purpose for that. Then I'm going to adhere the 25. And this page is basically done. Okay, and because I can't help myself with the rub-ons, I'm coming in here with these large florally rub-ons. I'm going to fill this corner in, and I like that it's overlapping right there. That's kind of fun. I need to be careful of this up here because I don't necessarily want that to go on the page. So I'm just going to trim that out, and I'll add it someplace else, but not right there. And this is going to basically wrap up 25 stories of December. I have loved doing this album with you guys this year. I certainly hope you found some value and some takeaways for your own December album. So many of these ideas, of course, can also be translated into any kind of page, right? It doesn't just have to be for December. I'm so thankful that you all held me accountable to get this done this month, because it's still literally December and my book is done. And I am so excited about that. Completing projects can bring you so much joy, but it brings you such a sense of accomplishment, especially when it's one of this caliber during a very busy time of year. You saw that I paused for several days in the midst of just being in the midst of the holiday. It's so important. Yes, our memories are terribly important for us to take time to write about. And if we've taken photos, to get the photo on the page as well. But if we're not in the moment and enjoying the actual holiday itself, none of that really matters, right? I'm trying to get this unattached. Unattached? Good word, James. Good word. Here we go. Ah, not bad. Not bad. So I will be finishing this off, and you should see this in the walkthrough that we've already done with the journaling underneath. But I love just how relatively simple this page is. So thank you so much for being a part of this series.